Welcome back to another episode of The Hardcore Casual with your boy, Bass the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, an associate, a colleague, a relative, enemy, anyone in between. All views are appreciated, all comments are appreciated. Now, I had a few topics to talk about from, say, things that took place Monday to kind of Wednesday. I wanted to sort of space things out, so I figured why not speak about some of that stuff right now. There's a couple that actually I'm going to conflate into one individual segment because there's a few things that kind of do overlap, but outside of that, yeah, just wanted to kind of give my take on a few things, see what you guys think, and yeah, let's get it cracking. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I wanted to talk really about the situation, the current new situation, I should say, between Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall. So Savannah Marshall was on Sky Sports News the other day, and essentially she said two things. So number one, she said that she went in with the wrong tactics against Claressa Shields. She believes that she can outbox her, and she should have been trying to box her from long range instead of trying to close the distance, getting close. And essentially she blamed Peter Fury for the tactics, even though she said, well, it's a team effort, but ultimately she blamed him by saying he hasn't been her favorite person over the last few months. Okay, so before I get to the second part of what she's said, let me address that. I think Peter Fury, I don't think there was anything wrong with the tactics that were employed. I think that you could have executed them a little bit better than you did. And this is coming from someone who actually scored the fight a lot closer and a lot more in your favor than most other people that I've spoken to. Minus one or two people whose opinions I actually give a lot of credence to. Some people had it 8 rounds to 2. I didn't have it that way at all. But that being said, there's a lot of things that you could have done better. Now, if the tactics were wrong, why did you stick with them? You've got a world championship level brain. Like, you've been to the world championships as an amateur. I think you went to the Olympics, obviously went out in the qualifying rounds or whatever, but you had a very good amateur pedigree, amateur background. So in your brain, if you don't think what you're doing is working, even if in the corner that's what's being told to you, then why didn't you change it? Why didn't you say, okay, I'm not doing well on the inside, I'm not doing well up close, let me hit her from the outside, let me make her come to me, let me have to make her walk onto my shots, and let's see if that works any better. I mean, are you not intelligent enough to do that? So, and I say this as a Savannah Marshall, I like watching Savannah Marshall box, so this isn't like hate or anything like that. I want to put that out there. Like, she's not a person I actually dislike as a boxer. So yeah, blaming the team for the tactics, but yet you stuck to them, that to me don't wash. Like, ultimately, if you lost this because you just weren't the better person on the day, it happens, fine. Then, so she's saying, the next part she said was that she's got no problem going to the US for a fight. Now, I don't know if she can actually go because she was former MTK and, aligned with them. So I don't know if she's able to travel to the US. But say she is. She said, I'd go to the US, but ultimately, no one knows Claressa out there. She doesn't sell. Now, and she said, and obviously she tried to clean it up a little bit by saying, that's a real shame. She should sell. As talented as she is, as accomplished as she is, she should be the face of boxing over there. But people don't like her because, she's got a disgraceful attitude and whatnot. Now, let me preface this by saying, I, as a person, have no time for Claressa at all. As a professional boxer, I think she's one of the best that's out there. I've stated that before. I don't like her as a person. I don't like how she moves. I don't like the way she carries on, blah, blah, blah. But on this particular occasion, I have to agree with Savannah Marshall. Now, Claressa came back on a live and essentially said, basically, Savannah Marshall is a liar. Like, every time I've gone out, like any arena I've gone out, I've sold it out. When I was in my hometown, I sold out these venues. The one time I didn't was because it was COVID and you're only allowed to have 300 people in there. The other time it was 7,500. Every time I got 7,500. She didn't even sell out in Newcastle or wherever she was boxing. Now, I don't know if that part is true. What I do know is that Claressa said that I've never had a problem with any of my working relationships or anyone I've done business with. There's never been an issue. I can categorically say that was a lie. And if it's not a lie to her, that means that someone hasn't told her the truth. Point being, how do you have fights on HBO? Because I think she had a fight on HBO before, on DAZN, on Showtime, and none of those people and none of those companies like sign you long term. Showtime signed you and then you ended up leaving because you told them, I want to go on pay-per-view, and they said, we can't put you on pay-per-view, you don't do enough traffic on the platform when you're fighting. I think the highest number she had as an actual fight was, I think, 460,000 like views, and this is on regular Showtime, so not pay-per-view. Now, I could be wrong on that number. I could fact check it, and I may fact check it just to put on the video, but probably I won't bother. But either way, you guys can go and do the research and let me know in the comments how right or wrong I am on that particular one. Point being, you wanted to go on pay-per-view, they wouldn't put you on pay-per-view. They said they was going to drop your money because the money that you were making, you weren't essentially bringing them back. You had an issue with that and then left. Hence why you decided to go to the PFL and say, well, they're going to treat me better over there, they're going to pay me more. Which is cool. Go get your money. That's calm. But there's no way that you can have boxed on 3 different platforms in the US, being a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and essentially having to be the face of US boxing, but yet none of these people want to work with you or want to keep you on a long-term contract. Do you think Eddie Hearn wouldn't have moved mountain and earth for Katie Taylor? Do you think that when he left from Sky to DAZN, that he would have ever left Katie Taylor over there saying, oh, well, no, there's a reason he kept her around. There's a reason that he's still working with Terry Harper even after the Baumgardner loss. Like, there's a reason people get kept into their contracts. Now there's a very big reason that Sky have put so much money and time into someone like Natasha Jonas, who has become unified champion 3 weight classes above where she was campaigning before, and is doing commentary and punditry work. There's a reason that DAZN and Matchroom have a big working relationship still with someone like what's her name, Jessica McCaskill. Apologies, Jessica. There's a reason that DAZN are still heavily involved in working with Cecilia Brackhouse, because these people either have a following or these people are easy to work with. So clearly there's something going on with either you as a person or your team, which means that none of these people want to keep you around long term. And what makes it worse to me, right? She went to Sky, and it's funny. I saw she had a bit of a rebrand. She went to Sky and was all kind of, hi, how you doing? Smile. So I'm like, oh, okay. It looks like she's learned a little bit from previous iterations of what's kind of gone on. Like, it's almost like she done a Tyson Fury, because remember Tyson Fury went over to the US and everything was about mental health and this and that, and he just became like this people's champ, and all of a sudden he comes back to the UK and is on a fuckery again. And it's almost like as soon as the Savannah Marshall stuff happened, the mask that Claressa Shields tried to put on slipped. It's like she couldn't maintain the airs and graces that she had in place, and then she goes and beats Savannah Marshall, and rather than being like acting like the champion, acting and actually being like, well, you know what, I'm actually too good to deal with and talk about you in any way because I'm just better. All of a sudden, she's all over social media every day. Ha ha, how did you people feel now? You thought this girl's gonna beat me? She's a bum. Da 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 da. Like, Floyd Mayweather never acted like that after his fights. Canelo never acts like that after his fights. Anthony Joshua, even Deontay Wilder, like Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, these people that you're basically on the same platform as or in the same caliber, like, they don't act like that after their fights. Katie Taylor, Alicia Baumgardner even. She might talk a little bit of shit. Her and Michaela May are going back and forth on social media, but they conduct themselves a certain way. Now, I'm not even saying that you should necessarily have to change in order to get along. But if you recognize that there are certain characteristics, and I don't want to go into them on here because I'm not trying to do that hierarchy, but people who know what I'm about to say. Like, if you know that certain things are against you, then no one's telling you that you must change, but adaptation is key in every walk of life. And clearly you can't adapt to that environment. I mean, let's be real, to the point where after Showtime, the deal with Showtime fell apart, you had to try and put on an event by yourself on Fight TV. I don't know how much it sold. So even when you then say to someone like Savannah Marshall, well, come, okay, no, you need to come over here. You know what? I actually agree with you. She should have to run her ass over to the US and face you over there because you came over here and beat her in a proverbial backyard in London. But unfortunately, you don't sell enough. Yeah, you might even be able to sell out. Say you sell out Madison Square Garden or sell out an arena in Vegas or something, 17, 18, 19,000, and you can actually sell that out, 7,500 in Michigan or wherever. All right, cool. You might be able to do that, but who's putting the money up for the fight? Like, what broadcaster's taking it? What network deal do you have over in the US right now where you can get that money? Or are you expecting Sky Sports to upload their entire group of people from the UK to go and put on a production in your backyard to not make money because it's going to have to come on at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, so they're not even going to get the same traffic for it, for your fight, for you to fight in your own backyard? No. Like, unless you've got a deal over there in the US, there's absolutely no way that fight happens over there. So unless really all this is a player for you to say, all right, you know what, I'll come back, but you need to double what you paid me last time for me to go beat this girl again. Or you need to get me a couple fights in between while you build up, whatever. Get me a couple fights. I want this money, I want that money. And make sure you put your manager on job. Tell him, I want 2 fights. I want 3 fights. Give me 3 fights in a year. This is what I want for each individual one. I'll do the Savannah Marshall fight middle of 2024 or back end of 2024. This is what I want to do right now. This is what you're going to pay me if you guys want that fight. But outside of that, unfortunately, there's nothing else for Claressa Shields to do. If she come back over for a Natasha Jonas fight, number one, you're not gonna make big money on that one because everyone's already gonna see that as a foregone conclusion. So you can't negotiate a big pot. And the belts that she's carrying are 3 belts that you gave up already. Like, so that one doesn't work. You coming over to fight Terry Harper don't work. You remember you offered money to Raquel Miller. Raquel Miller didn't take that money because it was short. It wasn't good money for someone to put their O on the line against you. That's just the truth of it. Now, the thing is, the joke is, out of the 2 of you, it's actually Savannah Marshall that doesn't need you because you've already beaten her. Like, all right, so now what can she do? She can do her own big redemption story, but she can fight Raquel Miller. She can fight Shadeja Green. She can fight Franchon Cruz Dezern. And you know why she can fight them? Because she's got a platform behind her with Sky Sports that you don't have in the US, where you want to stay your ass over there acting like I'm high and mighty. Well, yeah, you are high and mighty, but when you're a big fish in a proverbial small pond, sooner or later that oxygen takes it, so you just end up in a circle till you run out all the rest of the oxygen that's in that little pond. And ultimately, the biggest issue with Claressa Shields at the moment is she doesn't seem to understand that her fan base, or the people that claim to be her fan base, they don't really support her because they don't buy her fights. They don't watch her fights, or not for, you know, through the subscriptions or not through the money. They're the reason why the event she done on Fight TV wasn't a massive success, selling over 500,000, 600,000 pay-per-view buys. They're the reason she wasn't getting a million plus views on Showtime when she was over there. I can't say they're probably the reason why she didn't get views on DAZN, talking about, dead zone, nobody wants to go over there, watch that, pay that subscription. So when she went over to DAZN and had a couple fights, yeah, they wasn't viewing that either. So someone ultimately needs to tell her, like, you are as good as you think you are, no doubt, 100%, no questions about it, but you're not as big as you think you are. And the people that are telling you that, numbers don't lie. Even if you can put 20,000 in an arena, as I said before, who's paying for the fight? Who's putting it on? What network deals have you got in place over there right now? Because every time you've said to Savannah Marshall, you need to come to the US, you haven't said what platform they're going to be fighting on. Because can she even fight on that platform? Does she have an exclusivity deal with Sky where she can't actually move platform? Do they then have to work out an additional deal with that, and that costs more money? We don't know this. So unless all you're saying is, well, no, Sky, bring your whole crew over here and you go and put the fight on over in my back garden, I don't see them doing that, because the money is not going to be the same. Because the fan base that you have, or that want to actually watch you fight this girl again, is in the UK. It's not in the US. But look, this is not, I want to preface this by saying this is not me attacking Claressa Shields in any way, shape or form, because I know people feel I've got an agenda against her. I don't. Again, I don't like how she goes on. I understand from certain perspectives and certain ways that she feels certain things are against her. I get that, and I'm not going to dispute that on this platform right now. I'm not here to do that, but she doesn't make things easy on herself either. And ultimately, I feel like she has a level of delusion about her which people are feeding into, maybe just because it gives them access, as opposed to just being honest and potentially risking getting themselves blocked or cussed out or whatever. Now me, look, I'm on a channel with less than 500 people right now, so whether she sees this or she don't see it, it affects me in no way, shape or form. Because if she comes over here, guess what, I'll still go to the fight like I did last time. I'll still pay for her fights if I have to, like if it's a fight I want to see. The same things that her so-called fans ain't doing, I do that. So my opinion realistically should mean a lot more to her than theirs, because I put the money in her pocket. But yeah, let me get off of that right now. Alright peeps, thanks for watching. You know, I'm going to try and keep the consistency up with the videos throughout the week, so there will be more to come. But for right now, thank you very much for watching, and that is the Hardcore Casual out.